I'm in Horseshoe Valley. So let's kickstart this seminar. I schedule my lives. I go the year before, so I've got this year's. I scheduled them in December last year. I had no idea where the world would be when we're in the third month of the year, and the situation for employment is going downhill every day. Normally, I can with my extensive executive recruiter network, we get together and we can find out or just discuss where we think the year is going to go. But this year, because of geopolitical things happening in the world, we were unable to give a firm idea of recruitment this year. And so we held fire. But sadly, our, I guess, lacking the knowledge and whatever has really shown up, because we are now at a crossroads in the world. And for the first time in many years, recruitment has slowed significantly in the last few weeks, significantly at all levels, all industries, all functions, and industries, so and geographies. So it's even more. Today's topic is even more imperative that you get your act together and understand how to optimize your job search during somewhat difficult times. It's not as easy to snag a job as it was, say, this time last year. So in short, career management is very, very important. Those people who manage their careers while they're gainfully employed are shorter in their job search than those people who don't manage their careers while they're employed. So you are in charge of your career, not your employer. And as we're seeing now, they can say goodbye to you anytime. I'll give you an example. Where I am in Toronto, normally between 14 to 1,600 people are terminated each week in good times. It's just because it's not because of their performance generally. It's because of a change in direction or whatever. It's but last week 8,000 people were laid off in Toronto. I don't know what the statistics are going to be like this week, but I suspect they're going to be similar. And in London, UK, they were not as dramatic, but they are going up, and so is Paris. So yeah, it's going to be a tough slog in the next few years for recruitment. So you need to be sharp with your career management, and you need to market yourself as the number one candidate. You have to know who you are, your value, what you can bring ABC company, XYZ company, or whatever. So you need to be far more competitive. So a robust job search becomes more strategic, aligned with your ambition, your career goals, combined with leveraging your network. Now, hopefully, everybody networks profusely, because the bulk of the jobs, doesn't matter where you are in the Western world, aren't online. They aren't on Monster, Workopolis, Career Builder, and LinkedIn, and all those job boards. They are through networking. So you need to network effectively when you're in career transition, and network while you're gainfully employed. So having coached thousands of clients on job search strategies and been with them during their ups and downs, here are my top 15 job search tips. So tip number 1, define your career goals. So you need to identify what you want to achieve in your next role. You need to consider your long-term and short-term goals, and what values you want your future employer to align with. corporate culture is very important today. It's more important today to fit into that corporate culture than it is ever before. Classic example of that is, doesn't matter which country you're in, is the banks, the tier one banks. So I will use the ones I'm very familiar with, the top 6 here in Canada. They each have a different culture. You might fit into one culture, but you might not fit into the other culture. So you have to understand their culture, and you can do a lot of research through LinkedIn by gaining what that, and through your network, exactly what their culture is. So what is the generic title of the position you're seeking? So writing down your goals will help with your search and ensure you focus on opportunities that match your aspirations. It's great to have ambitious goals, but don't go over the top. And you also need to keep your goals like a bullseye. You don't want to be like this. You want to be more condensed. You want to be like a bullseye, targeted, because salespeople, marketing people, they look at their particular target audience and they market and sell it within that audience. And now you are, when you go into a job search, you are a salesperson. You're nothing to do with finance, nothing to do with supply chain or anything. You are selling yourself, and you need to find that target and market the heck out of that target before you move a little bit outside that bullseye. So you need to really focus on a particular target, a particular industry, a particular companies or whatever. But be targeted. Don't be all over the place. A wide audience, and if you go, the wider you go, the 360, your job search will fail. Number 2, this goes without saying, but unfortunately, so many people don't listen to this. You need to update your resume, your CV. A resume, a CV is the same document, just called a different term where you are in the world. So this very important document, the resume, the CV. I've been writing resumes now for 30 plus years, and it's changed more in the last 2 years, the format and the content, than it did in the previous 28 years combined. So why? It's now read, your resume is now read, processed, and I don't like this, by technology. It's called ATS, Applicant Tracking System. It's a very, very sophisticated application built by programmers. And if you are one character wrong, one line wrong, one bullet wrong, even though you may have 120% of the skills that they're looking for at the other end, you will be counted out, even though you are a perfect candidate, just simply because your resume is not up to scratch. So it will fit in with this particular ATS. So both the content and the format has changed. Doesn't matter whether it's in the corporate world, the public sector, NGOs, and to a certain degree, non-profits. They all employ this sophisticated ATS, Applicant Tracking System. So it's very, very important that you don't go outside that very rigid ATS system. So you need to also write a performance-driven resume. So you're going to be hard at the other end because of your accomplishments. How much money can you make? How much money can you save? Can you streamline operations? Can you eliminate headcount? Can you introduce new systems, processes, products, services? The list goes on and on and on. Can you get parachuted into a company where they are close to receivership, and can you resurrect that company? Have you got all those skills, and have you done it before? If you have, then document that on your resume, your CV. So a maximum of 3 pages. Never go more than 3 pages. If you go to 4 pages, depending on the country, you reduce your chances in the 90+%. So here in Canada, if you go to 90 4 pages, you reduce your chances of having it read by 93%. In the US, it's 97%. In the UK, it's 94%. So you just don't want to go to 4 pages, put it that way. So you need to sharpen now your competitive edge, not just because of the economy, but the way it's going down, but you should have also sharpened your competitive edge before. You should know who you are and what your product is, because you're a product and you're sending that product to the market, and the package for that product on one side is your resume and your CV, and then on the other side is your LinkedIn profile, and you are the product in the middle there. So think about yourself, selling yourself, get into the sales mode. And think about when you write your resume, make sure you've got all the format. And I'm going to do a seminar on writing resumes in a forthcoming LinkedIn Live. But make sure you have everything right, because otherwise you can just be counted out just simply because you haven't got the right format, even though you're the right candidate. So have as many metrics as you can get in there. So wherever you are in the world, your currency value, euros, pounds, dollars, and then percentiles. So get as many metrics in there, and use action verbs. And you can't repeat action verbs between page 1 and page 2. You can repeat them between page 1 and page 3. No shading, no underlining. You can have hyperlinks, but no underlining. You can have bullets, square bullets, or round bullets, and no other bullets. So it's a whole long laundry list of stuff you can't have today. You can only go one paragraph of 4 or more lines. The rest has to be 3 lines. It's that specific. So you need to represent yourself with confidence. People who have a dynamic resume feel far more confident when they march into the job search. So that's part of the tools, one of the many tools that's going to help you. So keep it in Microsoft Word, and you save it as your name, the company name you are applying for, or the position and the company name, and then resume or CV .docx. So make sure, and then you will know in your computer or up on the cloud which resume, which CV you sent to ABC company, XYZ company, or DER company, or whatever. So you need to follow that particular ATS, and I'm more than happy to give a free, no obligation resume critique to anybody who's online. I'm going to type in my email address here, and you can send it to me. Mention that you were here, and I'm more than happy to give you 30 minutes of Zoom time over Zoom, and I will give you a free, no obligation resume critique, because you can't afford not to miss out on a job just simply because of one character, one line, one bullet wrong. Now, tip number 3, and this is something that people have difficulty in understanding. Develop your personal brand. So the 5 elements of a personal brand are clarity. So be clear on who you are, your values, your unique strengths. So this is where you get to understand yourself, the product which you are then sending to market. So authenticity. Let your true personality shine through your actions and your online content. By your online content, I mean both your LinkedIn profile and what you post there. And you should be, if you're in career transition, i.e. unemployed, you need to post on LinkedIn 3 times a week. 3 times a week. And I'm going to come to that in a few minutes. So authenticity, relevance. So create content that is tailored to your target audience. Remember, if you talk to everyone, you speak to no one. So you need to have your, target audience on your LinkedIn, and you need to become a considered as a thought leader or a subject matter expert in your area of expertise, where your function. So keep firing off content, and the more content you put on LinkedIn, the better it's going to be. So when I see people who are in career transition and they haven't posted for 6 months, well, if I was an executive recruiter, what would I think? It instantly sends a negative vibe through. So you need to be active. You need to be actually on LinkedIn. If you are in career transition, unemployed, you need to be on LinkedIn 5 hours, minimum of 5 hours a day. But remember, a job search is a full-time gig anyway. So you need to have that relevance. You need to have visibility. So this is where the advent of the social media gives you, and the internet generally gives you a lot of visibility. So be proactive about consistently raising your visibility. Go from here to here and showcasing your expertise again to your defined audience. And then consistency. So maintain alignment in messaging and images across all social media platforms. So don't just consider LinkedIn. Increasingly becoming a business social media channel is Facebook. So I know executive recruiters who now use Facebook quite extensively in their search when they're looking for talent. So make sure you fill in your bio, because the more you fill in on your bio on your Facebook, the more Google will find you, and the more executive recruiters will find you. But be careful again what you post on Facebook. You can post a few more personal things, but don't be just, well, you get the message. Don't just be don't be too overt in posting some other stuff in your life. It's you can use it as a business channel. So what is your personal brand? It's your unique promise of value, your differentiator, your competitive edge. You're in a competition. When you go into a race, into a job search, you are in a race. It's a street race. It's a car race. There is only a trophy for number one. So what will somebody say about you personal-wise after you left the room? Personal-wise after you left the room. Now, this is where it gets a little bit complicated and people don't understand this. A personal brand statement has to be written on a resume or a CV in 15, 17, or 19 words. 15, 17, or 19 words. Don't go to 18, don't go to 20, don't go to 16, 14, 22, or whatever. 15, 17, or 19 words. Why? Is because psychologists tell us that the human mind, our mind, picks up on 15, 17, or 19 words faster than any other combination. So, and then the programmers for that ATS, they've caught onto this, and now what they've done, they've programmed that ATS into 15, 17, or 19 words only. Okay, not 18, not 20, 15, 17, or 19 words as a statement, not individual words, as a statement. And I will be doing another session purely on personal branding. In fact, my Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and my career tips for a crazy world Mondays and Fridays for the next 3 months, we'll be talking about personal branding from next Monday. So it's a 3-month journey on personal branding. So see if you can listen to them. If not, you can go to my YouTube channel and you can see them there. So 15, 17, or 19 words as a statement. Make it very compelling. Make it very resonating. Don't and use the English language to the maximum, not just in your personal brand, but throughout your resume. Don't use bland words and action verbs. So classic example in a resume is for sales I see increased. Well, that's really damn boring. What about boosted? What about propelled? What about catapulted? What about elevated, raised, uplifted? The list goes on and on and on. So tip number 4, develop an effective online presence. So if I Google you, and most executive recruiters and other hiring authorities do Google people, what will I find? So hopefully this can come as a shock for people. I don't know when people last Googled themselves, but hopefully I will find, number 1, your LinkedIn profile, because that's where it should be. And if you're active on LinkedIn, it will be number 1. But hopefully I won't find your recent unpaid speeding fines or parking tickets. A lot of police services, both here in North America and in Europe now, if you don't pay your fine, they are now posting to Google that you have a backlog in payments. And if I was a recruiter or an HR professional and I see you haven't paid a fine here and haven't paid a fine there, what am I going to think instantly? That's not good. So you make sure you pay your fines first, and then make sure you Google yourself. So that is it, very, very important. So it's no use having an incomplete LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn and Google algorithms buy into your profile more when there is more text. So the more text you have on your profile overall, from top all the way through to the bottom, and more sections you have there, the more Google algorithms and LinkedIn algorithm traffic will help you for free. So you need to really spend a lot of time building your LinkedIn profile. So you need to have your LinkedIn profile photograph. You need to have a professional photograph, not a one hugging your spouse or got your pet in your hand or whatever. You as a professional in an appropriate attire, and then you need to have your compelling 220 character headline. That's 2 lines beneath your photograph. That 200, fill it up. Get to as close to 220 characters as you can, because that is the most Googled part of your LinkedIn. And it's also where if I was a recruiter or an HR professional, I read first. So make it very compelling. So you need to have all your 220 characters, fill it right out to 220 or as close as you can get. You need to have a well-crafted about section. So many people have a very slim, they maybe have a couple hundred, 300, 400 characters. You're allowed 2,600 characters in this section, but the magic number in my network, I network with the leaders of LinkedIn who know LinkedIn inside out. They say that 1,900 is the best character count. 1,900, not 2,600, but 1,900, best character count for Google and the LinkedIn algorithms to latch on to your about section. So don't have 200, don't have 400, don't have 500, 600, 1,900, 1900 characters. And then at the bottom, you need to have recommendations. So many people don't have recommendations. If you don't have recent recommendations or 0 recommendations, that is considered by hiring authorities as a red flag. And the bell will go off, the flag will wave, and you could be counted out just simply because you don't have a recent recommendation. So if you are in career transition, job search right now, make sure you have about in the last 6 months, make sure you have at least 7 or 8 recommendations. If you have 12, that would be good. Okay, and get them from ex-bosses, peers on your level, employees, vendors / suppliers, and customers slash clients. So then the 3 pillars to raise your profile, again, even further in the algorithms. As I said just a few minutes ago, you need to be active on LinkedIn. Don't be passive. You need to be active on LinkedIn. And the 3 pillars that are going to help you get that traction and get more algorithm visits to your LinkedIn profile are: create content. So you author your own content, create your own content, comment on other people's content, and share content. So I would suggest, if you are in career transition, the bare minimum you should do each week is do one of each. So 1 create content, 1 share content, and 1 comment on content. If you can do 4 or 5 or even 6, that would be excellent. And then when you go into a job, you can have just keep it once a week, but keep it alive. You need to keep that LinkedIn going. Don't just drop off the face of the earth. A classic example has been a few of my clients. When I do a debriefing, when they've got their job and whatever, I tell them how to manage their career while they're gainfully employed. I say, be on LinkedIn. And then they suddenly drop off LinkedIn, and then 4 years later, I suddenly see them active on LinkedIn. So what I do is I pick up the phone. I look up their file and I pick up the phone and I say, you've just been terminated. And they say, well, how do you know? How do you know? And I say, well, I haven't seen you on LinkedIn for 5 years since you landed your job. And now I'm seeing you every other day or every third day or whatever. So I know you're in career transition. And that suddenly triggers something in their mind that they should have done something while they were gainfully employed. So you need to not stop when you're gainfully employed. So those 3 pillars: create content, comment on content, and share content. And then engage actively with your network to enhance your visibility within, again, your targeted community. Not wide, but slim, okay, like a bullseye. And it provides the opportunity for you to be recognized as a thought leader or a subject matter expert. And we hire thought leaders, we hire subject matter experts. So my personal opinion would be to upgrade to premium, the premium version of LinkedIn while you're gainfully employed. So it gives you more bells and whistles. So tip number 5, leverage networking. So I said, hinted at it earlier on today in this presentation. The bulk of the jobs, doesn't matter where you are in the Western world, are hidden, never advertised. So where are you going to uncover those jobs? Through lead generation and tapping into that network you have. So to give you an example of percentiles of hidden jobs, here in Canada, 80% of jobs aren't advertised. It's the highest of any country in the world. So 80%. In the US, it's 71%. In the UK, it's 68%. And it hovers in the 60% across Europe and across many of the other Western world countries. So that's very high. That's far more than the advertised jobs. So you need to create a hidden job strategy. So in-person networking is very, very crucial for executive job searches. So don't tie yourself to the computer and just keep on applying online to Career Builder or Monster or LinkedIn or whatever. You need to be active and get out and show your face and get out networking. There are lots of networking events within your designation, within your industry or whatever. So applying solely using job boards, yes, it does bring results. But however, networking within your targeted audience will generate great rewards. So attend industry events, attend chapter meetings of your designation or your industry. Leverage your existing connections. Don't be frightened to tell the world that you are in career transition. It's not an illness. It's a fact of life. And so it happens many times to some people, 6 or 7 times in their career. Some people, it just happens once. But leverage your existing connections, and then also gain in informational interviews to gain insights and potential leads. So if you want to go and work for, let's use a global company like IBM. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. I bet an IBM has got a representation in your country. If you want to go and work for IBM, you go on LinkedIn and you go into IBM India, you go into IBM UK, you go into IBM Canada or US or whatever. And you start looking at people who would be your boss or your boss's boss. You find those. This is where it can be very time consuming, but it's well worth it. And see if you can connect with those people in those companies. So the person, because he or she might, with the amount of hidden jobs that are available today, the percentiles, he or she might have a job for you, and you will be the only candidate. Therefore, the competition is virtually zero. Whereas if you apply on LinkedIn or Monster or any other job board, the competition is quite vast, quite huge. So you need to think about using your connections and starting to be targeted. So when a client engages me, I get my clients to give me a list of 35 companies they want to go and work for, and not just label it. I need to give them to give me a paragraph on each company, why they want to go and work for that company. And also, I very well networked across the world. I have a massive network, and often executive recruiters tap into my network across the world, and I might know somebody in that particular company. So attend industry events and leverage your existing connections. So use executive search firms. So you need to be on the radar of executive recruiters. So are you connected initially? Are you connected with executive recruiters? If you're at the tail end of your career and you're not connected with executive recruiters, shame on you, because you need to be connected with executive recruiters because they can help manage your career. But there is an art to building and maintaining that relationship. So you should be on, part of good career management is having many, not just one, not just two, not just three, having executive recruiters in your network. They tend to specialize at the high level positions, and each recruiter, executive recruiter, tends to specialize in particular functions or industries. So this is what you need to bear in mind. This is the crux. They don't work for you. They work for their clients at the other end, and their clients comes forward with a set description of what they're looking for for a particular talent, and then the executive recruiters then go on the search, and they search first of all LinkedIn. So that's another reason why you should have a fully complete LinkedIn profile, because the more you have on your profile, the more you will be found, the easier you will be found. And then if you are active on LinkedIn, that will make it even easier for the Google and the LinkedIn algorithms and an executive recruiter to find you. They go on LinkedIn and then they look at the competition. So if it's the 6 big banks, they'll go and they got one bank is looking for talent. They'll go and look at the other 5 banks, the same level and maybe a level down, and they go and call those people and say, look, I've got this offer. Would you like to go into the talent pool? Sometimes they don't mention the bank or the client. Sometimes they do, and then you can build a relationship with them that way. But you need one of the best ways to get on their radar is to have an introduction through someone else. So a peer, a colleague, somebody who has an extensive network, and get them to introduce you to an executive recruiter. Otherwise, it can be difficult to get a relationship with an executive recruiter, because this is the age-old question: they don't return your calls. Okay, so you need to, because they're so busy. So you need to start asking them on LinkedIn, or you're going in through there. If they're the big firms, the big global firms, they all have researchers. Go in through the researchers. So, however, once on their radar, you need to secure that relationship. Never drop that dialogue with that relationship. So while gainfully employed, every 4 to 6 months, send them one email with one star story, one performance-driven story of what you've accomplished in the last 4 to 6 months at your current employer, and tell them you're sensibly managing your career and you're always looking out for new opportunities. Then if they call you out of the blue, don't ignore them. Don't ignore them. That's a huge mistake. Listen to what they've got to offer and enter into a conversation with them, because they've called you for a particular reason. They've called you for a particular job, or they've called you because perhaps you've got an extensive network. Like me, they call me all the time. So you need to say, if you don't want that particular job, be polite, be tactful and diplomatic. Say, I don't think this job is for me right now. However, please keep me informed of any future jobs that may come. However, I do know somebody that might be interested in that. So give you the name of somebody else in your network who might be interested, because that's what they like. So always speak with them. Don't say instantly, no, I'm not looking for a job right now, and put the phone down. That is very rude, and you might need them. Well, you will need them in your future career. So you need to build that and maintain that relationship. So if you can refer somebody, that's even better. Number 7, research target companies. So you must all have companies. I touched on this a little while ago. You must have all have companies you want to go and work for. Perhaps it's their products, it's their services. Maybe they're going to go IPO and you believe you can help them. Alternatively, they may be in a growth mode and you can continue that growth advancement. Or in reverse, they may have various obstacles, hindrances, and they may be, that you've uncovered during networking. Their revenue is declining. Their corporate compliance, they're not meeting their corporate compliance. They're way behind in their tax if you're a finance professional or whatever. So you can find out those through your network, or what those hindrances are, and then do a lot more research, and then put a business case to the person who will be your boss or your boss's boss. So do research using LinkedIn and other contacts to find out more about problems. That once you hear of a problem, then go into go on LinkedIn and find people who've left that company in the last 6 months or a year, and they have no allegiance to that company anymore. So they can spout off exactly what is the problem. So you then get a business case to put to somebody at that particular company. So again, identify companies that align with your goals and values, and research their culture, their mission, their current projects to ensure they are a good fit. So how do you understand their culture? So if you're a finance guy and you're going to market yourself to the CFO or the vice president of finance, you use LinkedIn and you connect with people who are in sales, who are in supply chain, who are in marketing, and ask if you can have a little bit of their time to discuss their culture. So you've got an idea of their culture. What do they talk about around the water cooler? And you're going to get a lot of information that could be very, very useful for your interview. Tip number 8, resume blasting. I don't see this as much as I used to many years ago, but a resume blasting is when you blast off 2,000 resumes. You can do it, but you're going to, it's not considered very well. It doesn't work too much. You might get a few, you might get a little traction, but you won't get massive traction. So history tells me that sending 20 targeted resumes draws more responses than blasting to 2,000. So, and don't waste people's times as well, because it's very important. People's time is precious. So 2,000 companies or contacts is really a non-starter. You need to be targeted. So it's actually best to send 10 or 15 out, 20 out than 2,000. So stop wasting your time and do yourself a favor and uncover the key decision makers at the company where you want to go and work, and then send that targeted resume and cover letter to them. So a resume takes you from today forward, backwards, and a cover letter written in the personal pronoun takes you from today forward. Okay. So tip number 9. Creating negative impressions, showing frustration. Now, job search, just by its nature, is a very frustrating exercise, initiative, whatever you want to call it. It's a very lonely journey, and there are more downs than there are ups. In short, it sucks. It really does. So, however, maintaining a positive attitude, conquering that fear of rejection or constant rejection and loss of power because you're in other people's hands, is a crucial element in driving success and landing a job. So others can tell your mood. If you're frustrated or you're angry, the why me, your emotions, just the inflections in your voice during a telephone call can say a lot too. So try and be very buoyant. Try and be very positive throughout this job search campaign. So when you're in a networking meeting or an informational interview, and of course the be all and end all, the interview, shifting poise every few seconds and sudden mannerisms, during those meetings, such as interviews, can put, it doesn't portray a good or a positive image. So be careful, be aware of who you are. And whatever, because each one of you listening today has an outstanding value. You are a product. I know every one of you. There are, even in today's economy, when we're going downhill, there are many, many jobs in your geography, wherever you are in the world. So there are jobs, but you have to be like my old trade. You have to be like a detective. You have to be, I'm an ex-detective from Scotland Yard and the RCMP, and you need to have a detective mindset. So patience and composure is a virtue during a job search. You need to have that patience, that virtue. The more frustrated and the negative you become, the less chance you will get of being hired. So have a friend or a coach to whom you can vent your frustration, and you can also be accountable to. So maintain that positive, jovial outlook. Smile. Emphasize your differentiator, your value, your personal brand, what you can bring ABC company, XYZ company, or DER company. Every one of you listening today has a great value, but you need to articulate that value in the proper terms and positively. Number 10, stay organized. Just like in your job, be organized in a job search. It's crucial. So it helps manage multiple applications, deadlines, and your follow-ups efficiently. And it also reduces your stress, because you want to minimize your stress. Again, that shows when you're out and about networking. So an organized approach allows you to focus on high priority tasks, like customizing your resume and preparing for interviews. So you need to customize your resume, your CV for every job. Don't send up a generic one. You need to customize it. The more you customize it to that particular job notice, if you're applying online, the more that ATS will pick it up. So applications like Microsoft Excel can help you streamline that process. So ensuring accuracy and timely submissions. Organization also demonstrates your professionalism and to potential employers, and enhancing your chances of securing that position. So by staying organized, you can maximize your efforts and increase efficiency and ultimately land your desired job effectively. So number 11, this is very important. This is where people let themselves down so much, and then they wonder why after 9 months they're not getting any traction. You need to treat your job search as a full-time job, okay? Not part-time, not sitting on the couch, not expecting a job to come and land on your lap. You need to be out there. You need to cut yourself off from your family, and you need to insist your family cannot come in your room during the day where you are working, and you need to get out networking, and you need to have at your office a set part of the house, and you need to treat it like a full-time gig. Like anything, the more hours you put in, the more rewards will come your way. So treat your job search seriously. And if you are the chief breadwinner in your family, you have accountability to them and others around you too. So a job doesn't fall in your lap. You have to be very proactive. Being a couch potato doesn't work. So, I would encourage you, after you've been, if it's a sudden termination, an unexpected termination, take some time to deal with your emotions, because the natural emotions of a human is the why me, the rage, the anger. You need to get rid of that. You need to pack that up and get it out of your system before you actually go on a job search. So it can take a few weeks. If you've got that cushion of a severance, or you've got some financial stability, take a few weeks off, because that will bring you value. Recharge, go out for walks, do some yoga, or do some sport that you haven't done for a little while, and go out with your friends and whatever. Get rid of that why me, that anger, that rage. And don't let your spouse say, oh, honey, your honey-do list or whatever. You need to concentrate on your work. Okay, you need to concentrate on getting a job, because and inform them. The more hours I put in this, don't let me do the laundry, because I will be back earlier, and then we can have more money coming in. So give your job search a full time. Number 12, tip number 12, work-life balance. Now, this is very important today. Many people, many years ago, didn't really take too much notice of it, but it's very important. Your health is just as important as your work. So get some leisure, get some downtime, give some time to collecting your thoughts and being with your family and friends outside those regular job hours. Minimum of 8 hours when you're doing your job search. Minimum of 8 hours. If you could do 10 or 11, that's even better. So there's going to be time to also to vent and express your feelings to others, who will hopefully show you empathy and give you an ear or two. So you can carry your work-life balance through your total career as well. Don't let your company manage your career. That's a fatal error. You can be terminated at any time. Anytime you can be terminated and gone. So you manage your career. Take control. If you're gainfully employed, take control of your career right now and manage it. So don't let your employer control your career. You are in charge of your career, and that helps with your work-life balance. Tip number 13, prepare for interviews. So identify common interviews and practice interview questions and practice responses to those questions. So ensure you're confident in your ability to lead and make strategic decisions. Preparing for a job interview is crucial. Don't just walk into that interview and think it's going to be a breeze. You need to prepare. You need to understand about that company, its history. What are the senior executive team? What is their history? What is their product range? What is their service range? and whatever. So you need to be able to understand that company. So research. It also helps you calm your nerves. The more research you do, the more aware you are of that company, the less nerves you will have. Yes, an interview is a nervous situation. It's just natural, but you need to see if you can reduce those nerves. So preparing boosts your confidence and allows you to answer questions more clearly and handle those unexpected situations. It also allows you to ask insightful questions. So an interview, this is another bugbear of mine. An interview is a two-way conversation. It's not one way. Them asking you the questions. You need to go loaded and prepare a load of questions that you can take with you and ask the interviewer. So ask the interviewer, put them on the spot too, because it's a two-way dialogue. And that's where you need to understand a little bit more about the company, and you can maybe find something that's holding that company back, a hindrance, an obstacle, or whatever, and then and show that you can align your skills with the job requirements in some of those questions. So the thorough preparation sets you apart from other candidates. Now, in my Tuesdays at 2, so Monday and Friday, and my Tuesdays at 2 every Tuesday, and then my career tips for a crazy world on Monday and Friday. Since January, every one of those has been dedicated to interviewing. So there are tons and tons of interview videos answering a different question relating to your interview skills, interviewing techniques, and the questions. Deep dive into some of those questions and how to answer those questions on my YouTube channel. So go to my YouTube channel and have a look at some of those interview questions, interview videos. There are many. Don't know how many. There are probably at least 30 I've recorded since January. So you need to go and look at those. Deep dive into interviewing. So follow up, number 14, follow up after interviews. Following up after an interview is crucial, and it demonstrates professionalism. So it reinforces your interest in that role and keeps you top of the mind with the hiring manager. So it provides you an opportunity also to clarify some of the questions, any points, and show enthusiasm, your excitement for that particular position. This proactive approach can set you apart from other candidates and potentially influence the hiring decision. So this is what I encourage my clients to do. It's a step in the right direction, and it has wowed the interviewer. Don't send an email thanking them for their time and clarifying a few things, whatever. Snail mail. So go to Amazon, do some amazing, very reasonable thank you cards, good quality thank you cards. So you need to hand write a thank you card, a thank you note, and send by snail mail. So here's a question for you. When was the last time you received a thank you note by snail mail? It will stand you apart instantly. Just that gesture will help you stand you apart. So, and it showcases your engagement and commitment to that particular job you were interviewing for. So as soon as you get home, write a script for write a thank you note and post it, mail it. And I can tell you from my clients, it's a wow, the interviewer at the other end. Tip number 15, stay ahead of industry trends. So staying ahead of industry trends is crucial when you're in career transition and when you're in gainfully employed. So it's key to overall career management. It allows you to remain competitive by demonstrating your professional proficiency in the latest technologies and best practices happening within that industry. making you more attractive to employers. So continuous learning, don't drop that continuous learning. While you're in career transition, many people get written into their severances money for education, a course, a certification, a designation, or a mini MBA, or a substantial amount towards a full-time or part-time degree. So make sure you're continuously learning, because one of the red flags on the resume is if you haven't got recent education. You need to show recent education on your resume. So do you attend industry conferences, symposiums, or trade shows? If not, why not? The benefit is twofold. They are a perfect opportunity for you to network, because you're with your industry peers. You're showing your face. You can ask questions and you can generate leads. So go to an industry related, can be local, provincial, state, or county wise, or it can be regional, or it can be national, or it can be international. So, they all have different conferences, and it gains an understanding of what's happening in your profession. So the speakers, who are handpicked, will be talking about some latest trends and latest topics and latest technology and whatever. So, and it ensures that your skills may remain relevant and valuable in a rapidly changing job market. Why not offer, if you are confident in public speaking, why not offer? And you've got a niche, a talent, a skill that you believe you can share to all your peers. Why not offer to actually become a speaker at your local, regional, national, or international conference? What better way is that to enhance your brand? So many of my clients have spoken at their regional or different conferences or trade shows, and they get job offers galore, or they get interviews. So you need to think about that when you're if you're going to go, if you've got a niche, you've got some subject matter expert, you're a thought leader. So this wraps up this LinkedIn Live. Hopefully you've learned something that you can put to use. One thing I want to end on, and then please start putting questions in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer them. Remember that each job, even a full-time job, is temporary. You can be terminated at any time. So a full-time job is a temporary job. So you have to be aware and manage your career while you're gainfully employed. Those who don't, as I mentioned in my introduction, those who don't manage their careers while they're gainfully employed tend to be in career transition, i.e. unemployed, for longer than those who did manage their career and network while they're gainfully employed and keep that relationship with executive recruiters going. So you need to manage your career while you're employed and during career transition. And those people who do manage their careers, put a little bit of time each week or each month away. Statistics tell us that they can earn more money, and it's quite a considerable amount over the period of their career, are happier, that's very important, get promoted faster, and can retire 5 years earlier. There's some statistics written by several people, several of my colleagues and executive recruiters, to show that people who manage their careers, and from day one, I mean, you can start, if you're in your 40s, you can still start managing your career now, but you need to manage it all the time. So if anybody wants a free, no obligation, no sales pitch resume critique, there is my email in the comments there. I'll put it on the screen here. Just bear with me 1 second here. There it is there. I'm more than happy to give you a free, no obligation, 30-minute resume critique. I say it as it is, from top to bottom, over Zoom. So send it to me. Mention you were at this LinkedIn Live. And then also, please go to my YouTube channel and press the subscribe button and the bell button, where you will be notified of future videos to come. So I have plans to shoot many more videos on managing your career, a recession-proofing your career, because that's very, very important. And I'm actually writing a book right now, an ebook, which will be available on my website, Recession-Proof Your Career. So that covers everything we've covered today and a lot more. So happy networking. Have a great week. Hopefully you've learned something. Has anybody got any questions on anything to do with not just today's topic, but anything to do with career management? Please put it in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to answer it. If not, I'm more than happy to give you a 30-minute, no obligation resume critique, CV critique. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. I'm in my office at 5 a.m. every day, and I leave at 8 p.m. every weekday. I actually have the best job in the world. So days and hours go by so fast. So hopefully you've enjoyed this seminar. I will be back next month with another one. I'm not too sure what I'm talking about next month. Let me see. Moves career LinkedIn Live. So the next LinkedIn Live is on April 2nd. I have career gaps which are halting my progress. Many people have career gaps, and it's okay to take a career gap, to take time off from work. So I will show you how to explain that in your resume, your CV, and to people when you're networking, because it's okay to take some time off to recharge or whatever. Many people take time off at mid-career. Don't worry about it, but you need to show it. You need to express it, articulate it. And then please tune into my Tuesdays at 2, every 2 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. I will be talking about personal branding for the next 3 months. And then on 9 a.m. on Monday morning and 2 p.m. on Friday afternoon, my career tips for a crazy world. Again, personal branding. Good. I'm glad you got some. Did you get some good tips, Oliver? Good. Thank you, Craig. So anybody got any questions? This is your chance to ask me questions. And don't worry if you think it's a stupid question. No question is stupid. So many people don't understand on how to manage their career. So it can be on career management or anything I've talked about today and a lot more. I'll stay on for a couple of more minutes and more than happy to answer any questions relating to resume, CVs, executive recruiters, personal branding, interviews, job search. The list goes on. But you need to manage your career. Hopefully, just if one person today has got that message, they need to manage their career. That makes me very happy. Or if you have something you want me, a video, something that if you want me to shoot a video on a particular topic, please put that topic in the email, in the comments, and I will shoot a video in the next couple of weeks on that specifically for you. And then it will go on my YouTube channel. And I'm more than happy to shoot a video on something to do with, could be leadership. It could be career management, anything to do with your overall career. But remember, you need to update your skills, or constantly update your skills. What do you think about talking about your unemployment situation during? Okay, so that's a great question. Thank you, Oliver. It's a fact of life. Those interviewers have probably been through unemployment themselves. I call it career transition. I don't like to call it unemployment. Career transition sounds a bit better. But yeah, they've probably gone through career transition at some time or other themselves, and they understand it. So you need to don't lambaste your previous employer or people you worked with. Just be open and honest. There's always a reason why people are let go. It's 99%. It's not against you. It's because of the company. They're losing money, or they want to cut back on this, or they're changing direction, and then concentrate on the value, what you learned at that particular company, and the value you can bring to this company. Hopefully that's answered your question. So Maxine, hi Maxine. How would you advise finding the best, most relevant recruiting firms per market? There are tons out there that claim they are the best. We could be here till breakfast tomorrow morning on that one. Maxine, I don't know whether what level are you? Are you an executive, or are you mid-level or junior, or what? Because there are different types of recruiters as well. So there's the contingency recruiters, which I don't work with, but they have a job, and that same job is advertised at say 6 other recruiting companies, firms, and then it's like feast or famine. They go and search the internet, search LinkedIn, and then they go and source talent, and it's they put them before the and often the same name goes from one firm to another, and before the company. But executive search firms, they are retained. So I would check whether they are a members mid-level investment manager. Okay, so you're in the executive recruiter. So I would go and check with the Association of Executive Search Consultants, AESC. Many are members. Actually, some of them aren't, but that's not to give that they are good. But if I know the good and the bad. There are some questionable executive recruiters out there, but if they're part of the, you need to get. If you're ambitious and you want to go up the ladder, you now need to start getting on the global executive recruiters who have offices across the world. So they are Korn Ferry, Spencer Stewart, Egon Zehnder, Russell Reynolds, Heidrick and Struggles, Boyden, Ogers and Bernstein. There's a couple of others, but you need to, there are some questionable executive recruiters out there. You just need to be wary. If you want to have a longer chat, I'm more than happy to have a chat. Just send me an email, Maxine, and we can have another chat to go through that. But you need to get on those radar. If you're mid-level now, you've got a long way to go. If you want to reach, the VP level, SVP level, EVP, you now need to start building and retaining those relationships with executive recruiters. So they can be very, very crucial to you. And always keep your resume up to date as well. That's something I didn't mention. And those who missed the first part of my presentation, resumes have changed more in the last 2 years in content and format than they have done in my previous 28 years in writing resumes. So make sure you've got an ATS-friendly resume. And if you haven't, or you're doubtful, send it to that address that's on the screen right now, and I'm more than happy to give you a free 30-minute resume critique. Anybody got any other questions? What geography are you in, Maxine? What geography location? Another thing you should be aware of, that executive recruiters, even the global firms, they tend to recruit domestically. So in their own country. However, if you want to go internationally, so if Maxine wants to go internationally, I don't know where she is, but if she wants to go into London, UK, okay. So so there's some really good ones in London. I work extensively with a lot of recruiters in London. I'm originally from London. I travel to London. let's have a chat, because there are some in the investment industry. There are some questionable ones as well. So I'm more than happy to have a chat with you. We can go on Zoom. But so if you wanted to, let's use Maxine as an example. If Maxine wanted to come to Canada or go to the US or wanted to go to Australia or whatever, she would connect with a recruiter in London who specializes in investment management at one of those big 6 firms. And she would ask that executive recruiter, can they forward her CV, her resume, to their equivalent, their counterpart in Toronto or in New York or in Sydney, Australia, or Hong Kong or wherever. And often they will be more than happy to do that for you. So yeah, Maxine, send me an email and we'll have a chat. Okay, well, I'm going to call it quits. Thanks for listening today. Hopefully you've all got something. Just one snippet would be good. If you got 10 snippets or 15 snippets, that's even better. And I will be back next month for another LinkedIn Live. But I do go live, as I say, every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and every Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern, and 2 p.m. Friday Eastern. So looking forward to you attending those as well. Have a great week. Do something this week to manage your career. Go and network with somebody. Start building your network up and target some companies you want to go and work for. Have a great week. I'm going to call it quits. And thanks very much for listening.